today's show is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, only the top-rated sportsbooking app in all of North America. Shout out to the fact that they are safe, secure, and reliable. You need reliability, man, especially with the internet sometimes, all right? But with them, man, we know we like promo codes. We like to give back to y'all because y'all make the show dope. So with that being the case, the promo code is MOATS. When you use that promo code, when you first get the app, DraftKings Sportsbook, and you make that initial bet of $5, a minimum of that, you will receive $250 in bonus bets that you can use for the chance or the opportunity to, potentially get some more earnings out of that thing, along with receiving 1 month of NFL Plus Premium. Shout out to DraftKings, man. It's a pretty awesome deal, man. When you look at it, you process it, everything like that. So shout out to the homies over there. But we also get it too. We could struggle. Some of us struggle with gambling. Might even turn into a problem. An addiction. If you're in New York, that's the number that you could text. But for everybody else, the digits to dial are 1-800-GAMBLER. I said 1-800-GAMBLER. Deke, how you feeling about these boys over there in Denver, man? What they doing to you that you like and don't like about them, man?
So far, there's not much I like about their team. Don't think they're really good. Small sample size, but one game they were pretty pitiful against the Seahawks. And the thing about it is, I said this earlier. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. Denver wasn't really supposed to be good going into the season. They got about $50 million of their cap space being taken up by a guy that's not even there. He's actually on the team that they're about to play this week, and that's Russell Wilson. So that's like a fifth of the cap. So that's tough to compete with a lot of the other good rosters in the NFL. You look up and down their roster compared to even just Atlanta, team we played week 1. I don't think they're really better anywhere. Worse quarterback, worse running backs, worse weapons on offense, worse offensive line, defense. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Patrick Surtain, he's a better cornerback than Terrell, but I don't think their secondary is necessarily better than the Falcons. Their front seven, I think their linebackers are pretty weak. Maybe you could give some credit to their defensive line, but man, I don't think they're that good of a team right now. Could they get better as the season goes on? Sean Payton, Bo Nix, they hit their stride and everything. They're lucky they got the points that they did because some of those came off the safeties and the Seahawks just being backed up on the goal line, and Seahawks are being put in a tough spot right there and everything. So, you get the safeties, then you got to punt it away. They couldn't get anything out on those specific drives, but every other drive, Geno Smith had no problems going up and down the field. Kenneth Walker had over 100 yards. Bo Nix, whenever you flip it over to the Denver side of things, he just looked out of sorts. He didn't look like preseason Bo Nix. And should we be surprised to Steelers fans seeing that? Probably not. I fell for the hype a little bit. I thought Bo Nix was going to be better.
You'd say he was nice.
Yeah, I know. I thought he was going to be better heading into the regular season, but all of that was based off preseason and how he looked. Regular season, it's just not there right now. Now it could be mid-season, week 8, week 9, but yeah, he's just dinking and dunking. I think he had 42 attempts for like 130, 140 yards or something like that. Seattle's pressure, like whenever he didn't get the ball out quick, they were right there within like 2-3 seconds. He had to scramble around and try to make something happen. Wasn't really able to. So I don't think they're that good of a team. My prediction or my thoughts for the Steelers, just pretty much do what you did last week. Take care of the ball. Don't beat yourself. Play lights out on defense, and balls if you got to make a long field goal or two. This is a good place to do it. At the high elevation. Might be setting records here.
I like it. What you like about him then? Because you said a lot that you didn't like.
Patrick Surtain, that's about it. I guess Sean Payton's a good coach. I like Javonte Williams, but they didn't really utilize him like that.
Yeah.
And their week 1 game, they were actually getting the ball to their backup more than Javonte. Josh Reynolds ain't bad, but
cool little too.
Yeah, dropped a couple passes in that Lions NFC Championship game last year. Yeah, it's really Patrick Surtain. That's what I like about their team. Patrick Surtain, Sean Payton. Bo Nix might be good, but he ain't good right now.
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
Cool. From my perspective, I think they got a couple things they do good. I think their pass defense is pretty daggone good, actually. More importantly, I think that they got guys that can win up front. Jonathan Cooper and Zach Allen, I think, are a lot better in terms of just the way that D-line can create some pressure, but more importantly, their ability to win one-on-ones. Jonathan Cooper has a nice get-off, and if either of our tackles, Troy or Broderick, are asleep at the wheel or not playing like a high-level player, he had 8.5 sacks last year, had, I want to say, 1.5, but 4 QB hits this past game. If you sleep on Jonathan Cooper, he's going to have a field day. Zach Allen, more so with Zach. Zach's a good player. Put him in the category of like more Larry Ogunjobi than Cam Hayward. I put Jonathan Cooper more Alex Highsmith than TJ Watt. But when you look at their matchups, you look at Zach Allen, he gets to go against Spencer Anderson. That's the one where, like I said, we just got to be a little bit respectful of that one, because we're not going to be able to just put a lot of focus on that, because they do got guys that I think are just better as a whole at rushing the passer than Atlanta did last week, man. And they're built to play the pass. That's the thing with Denver right now. When Seattle started to have success, it was because they started to run the football. When they tried to do the drop back pass in the first two quarters, they struggled. They got beat up front. That was the big reason why they had the 2 safeties. They had 2 holding calls in the end zone. One guy gets tackled in the end zone, another guy holds the guy in the end zone. That's happening because those guys are getting beat up front, man. And when you look at Pat Surtain II, pick your poison. You either like him or you like Sauce Gardner as the best corners in the league right now, and he's playing like it. He had a tough matchup with DK Metcalf and still kept him in check. And that's the thing where when you're watching Surtain, you're like, all right, this dude not only can handle the big body receivers, but he also can run with those little guys as well. And the thing that I think he's doing a better job this year is his tackling. Riley Moss, young player out of Iowa. I think this is, second year in the league right now? But for him, man, decent number 2 corner. Nothing crazy, but decent. I think the other thing I like of them is their offensive scheme. When you talk about their scheme, the execution isn't there, but you can see for certain the intent and the challenges that it's going to present. And what I mean is this: they build every formation. They're going to make you assignment check pre-snap to post-snap, and if you do not communicate or your count is off, they will have guys running free. They had guys running free versus Seattle, a lot of it. The problem was Bo Nix was very up and down as a passer. He had some passes where it looked good down the yard, others where he's hitting guys in the face with it. And that's what you typically get with rookies when it's the regular season, because now you got dudes that's over here really studying him, really putting together game plans to highlight his weaknesses. And right now it appears that zone coverage is what he struggles with more than man. The success that he had down the grass, whether it was to Cortland Sutton or whether it was to Reynolds, was when it was a man-to-man coverage and he can either get those guys on deep overs or trying to throw it up for the back shoulder jump ball. When it was true zone concepts, multiple Seattle players had interceptions, but there were probably 3 more that got left out there hitting dudes square in the chest with it, man. But the other thing that I would say is this, man. I think that the last thing I would say I like about them is they're opportunistic. As bad as they were playing, as light in the talent department as they are, going into halftime, it was still a highly contested game because they were able to put together 2 safety drives. When you get 2 safeties, it's like, yeah, this the NFL. You spot teams' points, you allow teams to hang around. It can get a little weird. And you looking at the end of the game, it takes Geno Smith having a high-end clutch pass and a tight one-on-one situation to Tyler Lockett. Otherwise, you're punting. And now Denver has a chance to get something at the end of this game to make it extremely weird. So that's the thing when we're talking about the NFL. It's like, yeah, we can look at them and we feel like Seattle should have beat them by 2 scores. But if you do not respect them, if you do not play with a certain level of professionalism, this team can and will beat you. The same way they was about the backdoor win versus Seattle, and the same way if we come out there half cocked, they'll beat us as well. We'll be over here like, man, this is a timely loss, man. Oh my God. So that's kind of like I said, the things I saw from them that I liked.
Yeah, I'll give them their fight. I guess, as you could say, as a team trying to come back in that Seattle game, even though a lot of things were going wrong for them, and they were just a little bit dull for the most part for most of the game. But also Bo Nix in particular, because he was getting blasted. But he stood tall. That last, I think it was the last
Started
drive
using
to
his
get
legs.
to get him within one score. He
Mm-hmm.
ran it in for the touchdown, and he could have I think he got hit a little bit as he was crossing the goal line, but he's putting himself out there after getting hit the whole game, trying to get a score to get him back within 1 point. So you gotta respect that. Like he didn't have any bad body language. He wasn't like pouting or moping or anything. He
didn't even point no fingers, man.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to give him credit there.
Yeah. Now, in terms of the things that I don't like about them, or the things that I think are weaknesses for them specifically, I think they are lacking in offensive talent. Cortland Sutton's their best player on offense. Javonte, I like him, but they hardly used him. And then at times he kept like slipping. So I was like, yo, what's this about? Like, usually your footing's a lot better.
Yeah.
That wasn't the case. I also think that they're just lacking in overall playmakers on the team. And that's offense, defense, and special teams. When we talk about our playmakers, we know we got GP. We talk about Moof. We talk about how even with with Warren, how he gives you the splash ability, right? We said with Justin Fields, man, you got the ability to take it to the crowd. I mean, we saw Geno run for a 20-yard touchdown. I'm like, bro, if that was Justin Fields, Lord have mercy, man. Like, so when I think of that, then when I think on the defense side of the ball, we got a TJ, we got a Cam, you got a Highsmith, you got a Patrick Queen, right? You got a Mink on the back end. So I just feel like we got a lot more playmakers than they do. I also think they struggle with pass blocking. It's weird because I think that they are a better pass offense than run offense at this stage, but their pass blocking is atrocious. Bo Nix was getting killed back there, man. And yeah, I think it's going to be a lot worse with our unit because Seattle's good up front, but they not us up front. We saw that even last year. They definitely struggle with their run defense. Like I said, that's when the game really started to change for Seattle. That second half, they came out running the football. Kenneth Walker, and a little bit more Kenneth Walker, man. To me, I look at Najee, I'm looking at Jaylen Warren. Why can't they do those exact same things, right? Another thing that I would say, though, like I said with Bo Nix, he's just a rookie. And he's playing like a rookie. He's going to have some moments where he look halfway all right. But like Deke said, with the third downs or even just his passing yardage, like everything was dink and dunk, even on third downs. You're like, bro, this third and 12, he's throwing it 5 yards. At this third and 10, he's throwing it 6. Like, he's not really pushing the ball downfield. And part of that is because he's a rookie. And we say, oh, good decision making. Like when we look at Kenny Pickett at times. And we say, man, he's not putting the ball in harm's way. But there are still opportunities where you want to see more than just 2 to 3 of those downfield attempts. We want to see him stretch it a little bit more, especially on the possession downs. But with Bo first start, that wasn't the case. So hopefully that continues because I think Seattle ended up being, was it 4 of 18 or something like that on third downs? It's hard to win the league, man, when you can't sustain drives. We have seen that. We've lived that before. Thank goodness that ain't our case no more. But over in Denver, that was definitely what they were dealing with week 1. And then they're, in terms of team discipline, highly penalized and multiple turnovers. When you start turning the ball over, having penalties, and you can't sustain third down drives, it's a recipe for disaster. That's a big reason why we won last week. That's a big reason why under Coach Tomlin we win a lot of one-score games because we don't beat ourselves. This team right here, man, they do a lot of beating themselves on top of not having the robust amount of talent that we would have to even overcome some of that stuff, man. But like I said, that's kind of how I see, those in terms of the weaknesses right now for them.
Yeah, for sure. I think it was a sloppy game all around from them last week.
I mean, shoot, both sides, though, low-key. You got Seattle fumbling the punt. That's put them back there on the second time when they had
Geno
the safety.
Threw one literally right to the Denver linebacker.
Hit it right in the face with him. It was the second play of the game, bro.
Yeah, put Denver and score. Yeah, literally like
his first pass, second play of the game, hits him right in the face.
Yeah, again, 2 of Denver's scoring drives outside of the 2 safeties. So the other 2 were field goals gifted by Seattle to them.
And the interception that they had, the dude goes out on the 1 and they get the safety. That was the first safety they had. And he's just like, that's a bad luck.
Right.
But I'd still tip my cap to Denver's defense because I'm like, you still got to force the safety. You got to force that call. You got to force that to happen. So they did do that. But it was a weird start to the game, man. Seattle was almost trying to give it away.
Right. yeah, that's the reason why Denver was in it. And then
Yeah.
Seattle started to get their act together in the second half, and Kenneth Walker was going off. Geno was able to start getting it to his receivers. I know Deke, I think he only had like 30, but Tyler Lockett had a little bit of a game.
DK was dealing with Surtain all day. Surtain followed him around. The catches that DK had were all stop routes. It was like 10-yard stop, 7-yard like crossing route. And then I think it was like 2 PIs where it would have been at the catch point, that 5-yard stop route. Was it a push off? Did he tug him? Surtain, I mean, it's Pat Surtain, man. So, yeah. He was at him.
I see no reason as to why we don't win this game if we do exactly what we did last week. I see no reason. And, like, that's not even exactly where I want us to be optimally as a team. But if we could just replicate last week, we'll win this.
Yeah.
We'll definitely win this.
I like it, man. I like it. Before we get to the predictions, I did have some matchups, man, that hopefully will help us get to that, man. But these are a little bit different this week, man. Starting it off, man, GP and Pat Surtain. Surtain's going to follow GP around. Last week, who was our best receiver? It was GP. GP was the reason why we were able to move the ball. GP got us in the scoring range multiple times. GP has Pat Surtain this week. So if GP is going to be who he says he is and who we all want him to become, this is the guy. AJ Terrell was cool. AJ Terrell is not Pat Surtain. This the guy this week, man. So if you're going to be that guy, man, be that guy each and every week. We would talk about that with AB. We would say, man, it didn't matter who was guarding AB, right? We knew he was going to give us out. We knew he was going to ball out. We looking at GP like, man, we ready for you to start taking that next step to being a great receiver, being a franchise caliber receiver that's going to get paid a ton of money, but you got to do it against these type of guys, man. So, like I said, that's the first one for me, man. The next one, since all things are still saying Justin Fields right now, we're going to check the injury report, but everything is still Justin Fields. Him versus Broncos pass secondary. Last week, he had a better secondary that he went against. He didn't turn the ball over. Repeat process. Now, the corner out here in terms of Surtain is a lot better than Terrell. Riley Moss, decent, nothing crazy. But just don't make the mistakes, man. So far, so good. It's a smaller sample size here, but through 4 games in the Pittsburgh Steelers uniform, you've looked good. Keep it up. But like I said, that Broncos pass defense as a whole, it could get a little weird, not just because of their secondary, but more so because of their rush guys. I felt like Geno kind of got in trouble with their rush early on, and then from there, they started to run the ball to kind of offset that. I think with Arthur Smith, he's going to look at that tape and say, run this ball to kind of keep that rush at bay early on when they're fresh. Because once the game goes on, now it's a better scenario for us. But early on, they're going to be hyped up, ready to get after it, man, because that's how they looked last week versus Seattle. After that, speaking of them offensive linemen, specifically Broderick/Troy, because it could be Troy now, but Jonathan Cooper. Matthew Judon gets sacks, but Matthew Judon's pass rush moves aren't the same as what we're going to be talking about with the Jonathan Cooper, who I think just has a better natural ability to rush the passer. I think with Judon, he wins, but it's a different style of winning, man. Whereas I think with Jonathan Cooper, this will be a little bit better of a test for both of those guys, man, whoever it is out there. But you got to make sure that you're ready to go from start to finish because, like I said, last week, it didn't matter if it was a starter or when the starter went out and the backup came in, he was getting off on both of them dudes, and he's coming off of a high-end season for himself where he had a career-high 8.5 sacks, very similar, like I said, when we talked Alex Highsmith prior to him getting his nice contract. We kind of see his uptick in production. This dude's on a similar trajectory. Heard me talk about Spencer Anderson earlier. Him and Zach Allen. Zach Allen, like I said, that's their Larry Ogunjobi. That's their best interior D lineman. He's productive. He's a 5.5 type of sack guy, typically, but he does create pressure both for us to run in the pass. So Spencer got to hold up versus that. And then for JPJ, you got the last one because it's him versus Cortland Sutton. That is literally their best passing option. That is going to be their best chance to move the ball consistently against us is Cortland Sutton. And me personally, I think JPJ going to make this look like Drake London last week. I think that Cortland struggles a little bit to beat off of that, to beat man-to-man press. And I think that's something that JPJ does at a very high level. And when I looked at Cortland Sutton last week versus Tariq Woolen, that was one of the big things that you would see him struggle with. You would also see him versus, it wasn't Witherspoon, it was another dude they had rotating over there. But you would just see where Cortland wasn't beating it enough, smooth enough, fast enough. And when you take into account their offensive line, he is going to have to win in a hurry in order for Bo Nix to have time. And I just think that JPJ, if he does what we've been seeing him do, that definitely puts us in a great situation to really, like I said, just lock them all the way down right there, man.
Yeah. Make it so Cortland Sutton sucks against us, so his trade value goes down and we trade for him next week.
Hey, low-key, Cortland would be a nice number 2. I don't like him as a 1. I like him as a 2, though, bro.
I don't know if I'll even want him anymore. If he gets like a catch and if he does a Drake London stat line, I'll be like,
Oh, but it's JPJ, though.
let's go for someone else.
But it's JPJ. He could be a 2. Imagine if he's out there now, JPJ, you got to go against Sutton or GP. It's different when it's just Sutton out there. It's like, hey, y'all want that one? All right, go take that one.
Yeah. That'll be 2 rough performances back to back.
Quarterback play matters too. I do think we got the better quarterback, whether we talking Fields or Russ. I see some of the positive stuff with Bo. I can see why some people are intrigued by him.
Yeah, I could see it working out at some point.
He has like some flashes. Yeah, he has some flashes, but it's just like not yet. It ain't ready just yet in my eyes.
Yeah, because I do like that toughness aspect.
Yeah,
he brought to the table last week with Pickens, though. The Pickens and Surtain matchup.
Yeah,
I would like to see Pickens go off against him. I think we all would, but we could also realistically see Pickens maybe only having 3-4 catches, 50 yards. So that means the opportunity is there for
somebody gonna have
maybe
to step
a Roman
up.
Wilson if he's healthy. Pat Freiermuth, you got to have a game potentially. Van Jefferson, Calvin Austin, bounce back week for either of those guys. Hopefully Jaylen Warren plays a little bit more too.
Yeah,
but yeah,
or even Muth.
Other guys on offense are gonna have to step up
because last week Muth was our second guy.
Yeah, and it was really just Pickens because Muth only had like 30 yards,
20-something yards.
Yeah, Najee had his on the ground, but in the pass game, some other people are gonna have to step up because this could be the game. If they don't, where we look at ourselves and say we need to make a trade before this Chargers game in Week 3, like we need to, but it's up to them. I think the opportunities are going to be there.
Yeah, I'm with you. If you want to still be wide receiver 2 and keep the Steelers from shopping,
It's
go ahead and have a day. This is the game for you.
Yeah,
Riley Moss, good, not great, nothing special, just a good player right now, man, young player, but. It's like, yo, if you're Van Jefferson, if you're Calvin Austin, if you're
I hope Roman Wilson gets out there. I really do. I think he can be that guy. We got to post the practice
report, too, to see what his looking like. Because if he was yesterday full, today full, then it's trending in the right direction.
Was he full yesterday?
I don't know. But I'm like, if we can know that, I think that definitely gives us a lot more clarity because somebody is going to have to step up to give us more production just based off of the history of Pat Surtain and what he just did last week versus DK Metcalf. We would all agree that we think DK at this stage is further along than GP. You say he was limited yesterday?
Yeah.
They haven't put anything for today yet, correct?
Of course, Larry Ogunjobi somehow limited too.
Let the toe. Is it a toe again?
Knee.
Oh, he changed it up on us this year. Okay.
Darius Rush, concussion limited.
Still, okay.
Russell Wilson limited. That's all yesterday still.
Okay.
Nothing today.
What they say about Denver? Anybody over there of substance?
Oh, yeah. They're starting tackle Garrett Bowles.
He's still down?
Did not practice with calf.
Oh, baby. I say, ooh.
And their right tackle was getting cooked, too, last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, their whole offensive line was getting cooked.
Yeah.
On paper, they're not bad. Like, they got players, but they played
didn't
pretty
play
shitty
well,
against Seattle.
They did not play good, man. Maybe it was you throw it on the road, first game. I don't know, but, yeah. This wasn't the vibe.
Josh Reynolds, Achilles, DNP yesterday.
I
think even their third guy. Isn't their third guy? Isn't his name Vele?
He's hurt too?
DNP ribs.
Ooh. Because Reynolds finished the game, though. Reynolds was out there. Dang. I like Reynolds' game a little bit, man.
I was going to say, maybe their fourth and fifth receivers are actually secretly better than their 2 and their 3 anyway.
Dang.
And you know the Steelers, some no-name dude.
You already know how this goes, bro.
We'll make them a superhero.
So, like, who is this guy? We just saw him from the practice squad. He's nice, though.
Yeah. I still have PTSD about Travis Fulgham.
Oh, man. Dude, Travis, I think of the Quez Watkins, bro. When it was Quez and what was the other dude? No, Philly, though. Who was the other dude with him? let's say it was two. They had two receivers, I felt like. And then Detroit obviously was another one.
Yeah, I don't remember Detroit.
You called the Amon-Ra.
I did. I said, watch out for him. He's going to be good. Kind of called that one.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad take by me.
Just saying, bro.
He's one of the best receivers in the league.
Are they bringing up Tim Patrick? What's the other guy they talking about?
He went off against us?
I don't think he did. No, I don't remember.
When was that?
I don't feel like he ever went off on us. I think they were just saying, like,
they
as
talking about
another
him
guy.
being on,
yeah.
I thought they cut him.
That's what I thought as well, because we talked about will we sign him or not. Yeah, I don't see him up here anymore. Oh, they do got Troy Franklin over there. I forget. All right.
Okay, that's what I mean.
I like Troy.
I
didn't even think about Troy over there. Okay.
That's what I mean. He might be secretly better than Reynolds and Bailey anyway.
Think about it. We like Troy. We talked
connection.
to little Troy coming out. Yeah.
Yeah, damn. I
forgot about Troy.
I think I want Reynolds to be healthy then. Yeah, don't throw some unknown commodity out there that has a connection with the quarterback and Bo next to going back to Oregon.
Yeah.
Don't do that. I don't want that.
No comfortability this week, man.
All right, we got some supers that rolled up.
I like
while
it.
we were talking there.
I like it.
Scoy Harris says, just want to say I love the show. Keep working, boys. Shout out to the O-line for holding it down. Sabotage Dan Moore. It's real. Put some respect on his name.
Put some respect on his name.
Deke don't love me no more. Mama
Dang,
Love is proud of you, Moats. And peace, love, and joy, fam.
Hey, nah, salute, man. All love. You know that, man. Receiving it and giving it. You know what time we on, man. Deke, you don't love him no more, bro. What's up with that, Deke? The Sequoia, West Virginia guy or something? What's up?
He must be.
Yeah, you a mountaineer? You almost heaven? What's happening, man?
He must be a Mitch guy or something.
Oh, man. I can see that.
Big Trubisky guy, probably.
I can see that.
Bear Pod asks, trap game. Mike T 0-3 versus Sean Payton. Early season conditioning not ready for Denver's altitude.
It could be a trap game if you come in with that mindset that, oh, they suck, they ain't got nothing, we're going to wash them. Yeah, it could be a trap game. That's not how I perceive it. No, I perceive it as we better make sure we playing our best football. Otherwise, yeah, it could definitely get uncomfortable for us out there, man.
I mean, that technically should be every game, though.
Now, y'all don't live like that. Y'all don't be talking like that.
We're just commentating on the game, though, and, like, just how you see it. Like, I think we're a much better team than Denver.
I'm with you. But human element is real, man. Or human nature is real. But, yeah, man.
For sure.
If you go in there and you think that they suck,
that's why
they will beat you.
Patriots
it's
last
that
year.
simple.
That's why we lost to the Cardinals last year.
If you think they suck, they will beat you. You better listen to how Coach Tomlin talks every Tuesday. And he talks really highly of every opponent because at this level, the skill, everybody has it. At this level, everybody has talent. Now, the degrees of separation between a TJ Watt and an Alex Highsmith, right? Like, we think TJ is the best defender in the world. But if TJ is 70% healthy, Highsmith would probably be the better player. And it's that type of stuff where just like, that's not that big of a gap, man. Like, you got to go out there with your best foot forward every time. Otherwise, the dude that you might not know, might not be as familiar with, he is still very talented and he's still very much capable of having success. It's the reason why we love Jaylen Warren. A lot of people didn't know who Jaylen Warren was or even cared about Jaylen Warren when we signed him as an undrafted free agent. But you look at what he's been able to do, and this is wild, playing behind a first rounder. All right? We talked about some of the big storyline. Oh, man, this guy was 6th round and did it. This guy was this time round did it. But it's like, yo, you got to make sure that each and every time you're out there, you put your best foot forward, man, because everybody at this level is talented enough.
Marco Prove It says, next 7 games, our low is 5-2. Our high is 7-0, and reality is 6-1.
If we do what we're supposed to do, it's on paper. But the only way to get there, kind of like what Phil said, you can't get to 2-0 without starting at 1-0, man. All right? We checked off that 1-0 first. Now time to go get that 2-0. And we do got a very favorable matchup, man. I haven't even checked the spread yet, but I feel like we got to be favored on paper, right?
It was 3-something.
We got to be favored.
Whenever I checked, I don't know if it shifted. I would guess maybe it would shift towards 4 or 5 as time goes on.
For sure.